LEAP's Language Intensive Training Event, or LITE, will test and grow your foreign language skills in just a few short weeks. You'll be living in another country, among the people, immersed in the culture. But every LITE is different, and every student has a unique experience. These are real-world examples of what LITE participants around the world are doing.
I feel like I'm in the ocean of Mongolia, and I get to, sink and swim, and I get to learn. This is where I learn to be a good swimmer.
It is very intensive. Everything we do is in the Korean language.
We are here in Tanzania studying full-time Swahili, living with a Tanzanian family. You go to a language class in the States, there's a teacher up at the board, she's helping you conjugate, all right, this is exactly what you should be doing. In these classes, it's much more conversational, much more community-based, and what we do is a lot more just sitting around in a circle and we talk about experiences that we've had, and the teacher will occasionally correct something you're saying or help you out with a word or something like that. So the further I've gotten along in this program, the more I've learned and enjoyed.
Many LITEs have a classroom teaching component, and they all look a little different. You may have your own teacher, or be in a group of students, and some programs are more academically intense than others. LITE students in Seoul, Korea, learn about Korean foreign policy from professors and diplomats.
It's a lot harder than I expected it would be. I honestly thought I would just be going to Korean classes about the language, but now that we're learning about foreign policy and the politics of Korea and the history and culture, it's very involved, and I've been able to learn a lot more than I expected to.
It's been challenging since, I grew up in Korea. I spoke the language, but it was more conversational, everyday Korean, versus this is very formal Korean that's in an academic setting, that professors would use with their students at a university. So it's totally different.
In the beautiful city of Kathmandu, Nepal, Captain Rajan Paul and Tech Sergeant Vikas Kumar face a different academic challenge.
It was intense because our teacher is a religious teacher, so he's a religious guru. So the stuff that he's teaching us, especially in writing and speaking, comes out from the old script, the Punjabi scripts. So it's not the local Punjabi that they're talking, but it's good because we're learning the grammar, the vocabulary and the grammar.
In Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the students spend a few hours a day in the classroom, and then they do more hands-on learning.
We just visited the National Museum, and now we just completed visiting the Intoto Church and the Palace of Emperor Menelik. Once we've done this trip, we go back and write a report in Amharic, what we have visited and what we have seen, so we can be able to express ourselves in a more advanced level of Amharic.
Captain Yim also gets special teaching outside the classroom.
My speaking teacher and I goes out to different parts of Mongolia. We get to practice speaking the language. She lets me order food and makes me, describe the food.
Transportation is different in each location. In some places, it's a reminder that you're far from home.
So it's called a bajaji. It's less than a taxi, and it's better than a bus. And the chief benefit of bajaji is that you can thread through traffic much more easily than if you were in a car.
In Nepal, you can catch a ride on a cycle rickshaw. The Ethiopian students take cabs, and in Korea, you'll get most places by bus, subway, or on foot. After a long day of language instruction, you'll head home. But home could be a hotel, dorm, or whatever space a local family has available.
The living conditions have been great. I initially assumed we were going to live in dorms, but we actually live with this really nice couple, and they have a cute home that has about 3 bedrooms.
I'm staying in the guest room, and it's got electricity and even air conditioning. It's super comfortable.
Of course it's different. I would say it's a little bit better than the college life. I really feel fortunate that I have such a nice host family that they always ask me how I'm doing, what time I'm coming back for dinner and things like that. So they're like my mom and dad, here.
You'll be learning in the classroom and at home, but you'll also spend time in the local area. shopping, socializing, and exploring. This will all help you understand the culture of the country you're visiting, making you a better ambassador for the Air Force.
We're not just here to learn the language. If we just learned the language but we didn't understand the culture of the Tanzanians, that would be basically useless. One of the chief benefits of studying in-country is you get to pick up on cues, see what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what's usual, what's not usual.
You can study a language all you want in a book, but until you actually speak with a native, live in the country, there's certain little subtle things that you can't really pick up in a classroom. You have to experience it for yourself. So I think that's a very valuable part of LITE.
Students who demonstrate a higher skill level in their target language may choose to attend an advanced LITE, supporting a real-world Air Force or Joint Service mission. These missions may be overseas or right here in the States. Captain Veronica Baez and Captain Claudio Santo were invited to travel to West Virginia to assist in translating for a group of officials from Peru.
One of my roles as a LITE person doing my LITE is that I'm helping the West Virginian Guard to communicate with them. Also during the visit, I'm able to talk to and translate for them during their different visits that they've been doing so far.
I'm one of the few Spanish speakers in the West Virginia National Guard that's available to work these type of events, but also as the event coordinator and event planner, having the LEAP interpreters really frees me up to coordinate the logistics and the follow-on meetings and that sort of thing, and not have to stay 100% focused on each word that's being said.
The delegation from Peru met with multiple government officials to learn how separate government organizations work together to solve problems.
They're actually high-ranking civilian personnel and one Army colonel at the Peruvian Army, and they're here as part of their disaster response. It's an orientation visit for them. They're top officials that would be able to manage any disaster relief during an earthquake primarily.
Communication on these trips doesn't just stop at the end of the workday, and it's not just one-sided. LITE personnel help to break down barriers by getting to know those they interpret for, by building a rapport with them, which can bridge the gaps between our countries and cultural differences.
After work, hang out with them, go out with the team, and you will learn a lot about their culture because they're really excited being in the United States, and I believe if you're going to be part of a LITE like this, you should be really excited of hanging out with them and just, learning from them as well.
In some cases, these relationships that are formed can have a long-lasting impression, as Captain Reni Angelova found out during her LITE mission to Bulgaria in support of the U.S. Embassy during joint exercises between the U.S. Army and the Bulgarian forces. Captain Angelova had made such an impression with Bulgaria's Deputy Chief of Defense, Major General Konstantin Popov, during a NATO symposium 3 years ago as his interpreter, that once he became aware she was in the country working at the embassy, he personally called her, stating he was looking forward to working with her again.
Not only is her language skills going to help, but really the connection that she's had with previously with General Popov, a senior Bulgarian officer who sees the continuity that we can bring with a LEAP airman in this case. She really is a force multiplier for us.
He remembered me with the best of memories, so this is a clear proof that building those relationships takes time, and definitely the cultural awareness and the language skills tremendously help.
As a LEAP member participating on a LITE, you're able to practice your language skills in culturally complex settings. Captain Julio Arizmendi and Captain Marcia Robinson use their skills to provide the U.S. Embassy in Colombia with support to achieve the mission.
Only a handful of personnel are active duty and permanent party in here. The rest are TUI members that come along just to give a hand. LEAP members like us come here. We provide a second hand. We help complete the mission.
Cross-cultural competence will become the key to the success of our institution. So they'll work different projects directly with the Colombian Air Force or with different entities, not just the Colombian Air Force. It could be other services across the Colombian military.
Captain Arizmendi and Captain Robinson have 2 different missions on their 1-month LITEs. Captain Robinson is working with top enlisted members in the Colombian Air Force to create an NCO academy.
We are meeting with the Colombians because they like the way we train our enlisted force and our officers, and they would like us to help them develop their training. So yesterday we were meeting with them to go over how do they train their enlisted force, and then to help us figure out how can we help them develop their curriculum.
Captain Arizmendi travels with a group of contractors to nearby Colombian air bases, where he assists with translation and builds ties with Colombian Air Force officials.
I know that the work I'm providing here is actually making me a better person. I'm not just here in school, I'm actually on a work environment where I'm able to expose what I've learned before and learn from mistakes and learn from how to be a better officer, build better relations between these two countries and their air forces.
The LITE is several weeks of nonstop learning, and it's a rewarding experience. But it's probably unlike any language class you've taken, and it's not easy.
We're with our professor about 6 hours a day, and after that he gives us homework, and he checks it the next day. So
and he finds mistakes too.
And he finds plenty of mistakes.
Me right here most of the time.
Yeah, so be ready for that.
Yes.
And it's all part of learning.
Yes.
If I had to say anything to someone who is applying, if they're looking for a fun trip, they're probably picking the wrong program, like a free vacation. But I mean, if you really want to work like developing diplomatic ties and learning a culture and actually like doing something for the Air Force, I think this is an excellent program.
It's not an easy cakewalk. So.
This is not a regular TDY.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So don't expect what the regular TDY is going to get you.
Exactly. Yes.